trouble yourself with that. If it doesn't populate for any reason, then you need to investigate and add that here. If your property is in a special tax district, if it's in a community development district, for example, a municipal tax unit, anything, if any of these apply, then you would want to indicate that. And then tax description. So HOA description. So we selected in an earlier field that it was resident owned and it's mandatory. So as soon as I indicate mandatory or voluntary, either one of those, then all of these other fields become required. If I don't select anything, that just means that there is no HOA. And I should not have selected anything else in the form to indicate that there is an HOA. So I'm selecting mandatory, and then I'm saying yes here to mandatory HOA. The master HOA fees. So I would enter the amount of the HOA fee and the frequency for the master fee, or I can enter if there is not a master fee, and you can click here, mandatory and separate from the individual community homeowner association fee. So maybe that's not a requirement, maybe there is an HOA fee. So we're going to enter that fee, and we'll just say that the fee is $1,500, and we will say that it's paid quarterly, right? Maybe it's paid monthly, but once you enter that fee, you want to indicate how often it's paid. If there is a mandatory club fee, you would indicate the amount here. I'm entering 0. Mandatory club fee frequency, I don't have to enter anything there because it's 0. So I can just leave that blank. Condo fee does not pertain to me because we have that mandatory HOA and we've entered our HOA fees. And then I forgot to enter my 0 there. And then condo fee, and then condo frequency doesn't apply to us. Recreation lease fee. So if there's any fee associated with that, we would enter that amount. Are there special assessment fees? If there are, we would enter the amount and then the frequency that they're paid. Any other fees, the association management phone number, you can enter that here. Then I'm going to one-time mandatory club fees. And I'm just going to enter 0s here, but you're going to be entering whatever applies. Sometimes there is a transfer fee. Sometimes it's, maybe like $100 or $150. Maybe there's an application fee. You can just enter whatever that happens to be. Sometimes there's a food and beverage. When there's a club involved, there will be a food and beverage. Leasing on new ownership, yes or no. The home that's being purchased, what this is asking is if there is a tenant in the home currently, and we would indicate yes or no. Are there lease limits? So in some HOAs, they do have limits as to whether you can lease at all and how often. So, and we're going to say yes, that there are lease limits, and we're going to say that it can only be leased once a year. And so that would be the minimum days of the lease would be 365. Any land lease fees and how often they're paid, subject to FIRPTA. If you don't know what FIRPTA is, that's where you can click on your information bubble, and it will explain to you that is the Foreign Investment in Real Property Tax Act. So if you have a foreign investor, you would indicate that. Is the property subject to be leased, yes or no? We'll say yes, that they can. A lease description, annual lease, and the expiration date of the lease. That would be, again, if there is a tenant in the unit currently, enter the date here. So actually, I'm just going to say no there and not enter anything there. But if you had a tenant, you would enter when their lease expiration is coming up. You would enter that here.